Now, dictionaries are a collection of data and some patterns, right? When I say about the patterns, there you have things in a key value pair, right? In a key value pair means that every key will be having one value, right? And that will be like, let's say, if I say this is maths, and you scores like let's say 98 or 89 in mathematics. So this maths is a key, and this 89 is a value. Okay, maths is the key, and the 89 is the value. Now, what I do, I'll summarize this within curly braces. Right, I'll enclose these things in the curly braces. That will be called as a set. Sorry, as a dictionary. Now, in dictionaries, there are some things to be focused on. Let's say, in like the set, there you can't make any duplicate values. In the dictionary, you can't make any duplicate keys. Right? You can make it's up to you. Right? You can make it there. So if you make, what will happen? Like, let's say you have created a key named as let me close these things. Okay, let's say you created a key name as maths, right? And then after again you created a key same for the maths and you store some different values. So that is what the problem will be there. That only this particular key and this value will be stored up, and this will be replaced by this. That's it. So you should not make any duplicate keys. You can make duplicate values, but not the duplicate keys. So dictionary has things in a key value pair always. All right, you have key and value pair, and also the indexings. Like in the set, you don't do indexings, right? But in the dictionary, you do indexing, but with the keys, right? If you want to see the first element, right, the first element of the dictionary, so you should not write it as like 0 or 1 and kind of thing, right? If you want to see what's there inside the mathematics, then you have to write a dictionary of that. Okay, so all that was for just a speaking out part, right? They just do the practicals. Let's say there are some marks for the students, and these are like let's say this is mathematics, score 98. Say physics, score 88, and let's say chemistry, score 80. Cool. So what are the keys? When I say that there are keys, so what are the keys? So keys are maths, physics, and chemistry. And what are the values of that respective keys? These are the values, right? And if I say that I want to see the items, so items will say you that respective key and that respective value within one tuple and all enclosed within one set. Alright. So you can see of the elements in a tuple, and all the tuple are enclosed within one set. Okay, cool, right? So I think we have done the loops, right? So let's just say that if we apply a for loop, okay, let me just see whether we have done this. Okay, so let's just say that if I apply for this. For I in the marks dot keys, print I. So you can see all the keys like math, physics, and chemistry. Similarly to that, you can even find out the values and all the keys or all the items you want, right? So I think we did the while loop. This is the set, and yeah, we did the while loop. All right. So similarly, there is for loops. Now for would be working as like let's say you have a list of companies, IBM, Microsoft, okay, and let's say for Google, let's say for HCL, and let it be there the list of the companies over there, right? So, like if I want to print out the companies, so what I'll say for X in this company, print X. Now X is particularly a variable and it will be going for every of the element, right? That is, once the X value will be IBM, then the second time when loop come, it will be Microsoft, it will be Google, and it will be like HCL. So you'll be getting all the elements, that is IBM, Microsoft, Google, and HCL. Now, with the same, right, in the while, what you did is when you use the break statement to just break the loop at some of the arguments, right? Okay. Similarly to that, here also we can do it, like let's say if we say that if we want to break at Microsoft itself, so we'll say for X in this company's uh, print your X, and if X is equals to Microsoft, then break. Well, you can see, right, that is only IBM and Microsoft coming. Now if you want to skip the Microsoft part, right, and you want only the IBM, Google, and HCL. So again you can write for X in this companies. So here we'll first check, right, if X value is equals to this Microsoft, we are quickly going to continue this, and if it is not such, will be printing up the X, and there you see the IBM, Google, and the HCL. So Microsoft, which comes in the second position, has been just skipped on, right? Okay. Now, so with the for loops, you can do a lot of things basically, right? You can apply a lot of things with the use of this for loops. You can even find up the events, odds, or you can even define your own things, like your own codes for any functions and all, right? So we'll be seeing up the functions also. Okay, cool. Let's say just a basic question I'm giving. Okay, let's say, right. So now how a dictionary works, let's just give you a good example. I think we had a good dictionary over there. Hmm, that's nice. Let's say there are a list of username, password, phone number, gender, first name, last name, and the date of birth, right? And we take things as a dictionary. Okay, cool. Yeah, fine. So what we did is we had a username list, right? There were some list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 users, right? There we have 5 passwords, 5 phone numbers, 5 genders, and all of the things, right? And then we created a dictionary of sample data. So I'm going to create with uh, let's say user
Hello, sir.
info. Yes.
Sir, actually, after the IBM Google HCL, this which you did, can you please repeat? My actually screen hung a little bit. So,
We'll do it. So let's just say that this is user info, and here you are having the keys as like username, and this username is nothing but the sorry, this username is the value. Now what is this value? This is this value, that is this, right? Similarly password, and what is being stored inside this password, that is this password. And similarly for the phone number, the gender, the F name, the last name, and the date of birth. So every key is having, now this is not the same value right there, okay? The value is this, right? Okay, got it. Let's just run this now.
Okay.
Let's just solve Anshu's problem. So
So
you.
your voice is cracking a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Voice is cracking a little sometimes in between.
Okay, okay. All right.
Yeah,
So
it's clear now. Yeah.
let's say this is companies, right? One, two, three, four companies over there, and we want to print all the company names. Like when we apply for look, when we have to print a lot of things in some iterations, basically we apply every time for only, right, as compared to the while. So we printed up with all of these things, right? And let's say if we want to break up the loop like we did in the while loops, where we want to break as soon as Microsoft appears, so we can write it as for x, and x could be anything, right? You can take even for values for I, for j, for e, f, g, h, k, anything, right? That is a variable. So for the variable in the list or whatever it is, okay, this company, print x, right? So print the variables, and if the variable value becomes Microsoft, then immediately break it there, and you can see Microsoft and IBM only there. Similarly, if we want to skip it there, then we know that for skipping we have continue. So we will just see if x is equals Microsoft, we will continue, and if it is not such, then we will keep on printing up the things. And the next is clear, I think. Okay. Now, see guys, if I say the user info keys, so these are the keys of the user info. Now, what are the values basically? So these are the values, right? So what we'll do is, see, we can apply a for loop here for x in this print x. So now we can see some of the values one by one instead of all in a haphazard way. So you can see of the values, what exactly the values, the same things what are here, right? Okay. And we want to see what is the username, what is the first user, right? If you like, if you say that username of 0 or kind of thing, then you are getting set as ITD, right? Rewrite as 1, something there, or write as 2, again there something. So let's say for 0 it is like there, right? So what is the information of the first, like if someone is trying to log in there, then how to give him access? You can give it directly from a dictionary kind of thing, right? So let's just say that if we say for x in the keys, for x in your what it is, user info, user info dot keys, to find only these specific things. Here we can write it as we just only want to print out the x of 0. Okay, so like there you get it for UPPGFLD, that is nothing but you are getting all the keys first name, that is UPPGFLD. Okay, so like that. So all the keys, now if you want the values even, so that is like values, right? So what will the values, right? If you print as values, so this is the value of the first user, right? The first user, this is his username, and then his let's say for the or even if I just say no, items will not be giving you. So this is your username, this is the password, this phone number, the gender, the name, the first name, the last name, and the date of birth. So like that you can get the info of any username with respect to the things. Okay, fine. So this is how a dictionary works. So this is like all of a dictionary now. Let's just see something about the functions. Okay. So how functions work and what are functions basically? So functions are, or you can say functions are defined as a code within a code, right? Or you can say a program within a program, or like these are the uh, major tools you can say to, or you can say major methods to run any program, right? Because for running any program or for printing any program, you use a function that is print in the parenthesis. For finding a maximum of anything, you use max and you run this. That is a function, right? So till now, we are using functions in every of the programs. In every program, so we are using at least one function out there, right? So these functions are called as inbuilt functions, okay, that are inbuilt. Now, functions are of two types. One is a user-defined functions, and anytime like when you apply for any good companies, like let's say for Google, I don't know for the IBMs, but for the Google or for the Microsoft, when you apply there, they give you some two questions, three questions to solve out there, right? The theoretical part, or even you go for the hash codes, or like the hack. There is something on the webs, right? To just solve the questions in like 45 minutes, you get two questions. Most of the times, you will be asked to make a function that could run this, and like so, right? So functions are important, and those are a user-defined functions which you define, right? That functions are built by you yourself, right? So how to build a function, right? To build a function, you can apply this def define any function. So that is function. So define any function, and function instead of function you can write up your anything, right? If you want to define a welcome function, right? Let's say you are making a program, and instead of writing up the codes, the big codes, what you do, you make a function there, so that every time when a new user will be coming, you don't have to write enter username, then print the username and all sorts of such things, right? So what you can do is whenever this welcome will be called, what you do, you will take the input of the user, enter username, and let's say enter name, right? So enter name, and what you do is split it and print I user of 0. Well, now this is done, right? So it will not give you any output for now when you run this, right? Because you have made a function of welcome. Inside that, these are the things. Now, when you call this welcome, then it will automatically run this codes what you have written. So this is your major program. Inside that, what are the programs? These are the programs. These are the codes. So let's say you write any name up there, right? Okay, so let's say there is my name only. Hmm? So he'll say only I Sumit, right? So no need of printing the whole name. So you can split it there, and only you can print the first name, and like it would work. So in a function, you can even define the default parameters. You can even define much of the things in the functions particularly, right? So a function can be of several types. Several type means like you can get various questions on the basis of the functions, like find the LCM, or like to find the HCF, or for any binary search things, or Fibonacci series, or any factorial recursions. And there can be a lot of questions for checking whether a number is a prime or not, like that, right?
Sir, can you please show one more example like this of function?
For a function, okay, yes.
Yeah, like this one for welcome. Yeah, like this.
Sure. So let's say I am making a function which could a common function I will make, like which could calculate the arithmetic mean of all the elements inside a list. Okay. So let's say We are going to find the list average. So, well, L will be equals to the length of the list, not this LST, and we'll be taking sum as 0. Now we'll apply some loops. So for I in the LST, this is LST, we are going to initialize the things to be 1. Like what we do in the for loops. Now in the functions, instead of like printing also, you can do one thing, that is return of the things. So if you like want to write a return this sum a public of 1. So printing is better, we can even use this return. Alright, so this is a function particularly. Now what to do? We'll just take inputs. Let's say uh, a is equals to input, and let's say enter integers, and what you do is also make a split here too, right? So from the spaces make a splitting here too. Now for I in this range of, let's say for the length of this a, but whatever the length will be there, like what you are going to input the thing, so whatever the input your will be, right? What you do is a of I will be equals to the integer value of a of I, right? And you can write your average. Okay, so you can write your average to be this is list. So list average of a. Inside that function you can print it there. So let's say for print the average is equals to, now it could be like what you want to print, right? So you can write it as print avg. That's it. Where is the error? The line number. Indentation. I think it's fine. So enter the integers like you want. So if you write up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, let's say. So enter up the things. str has no off, spelling mistake. So you can see average is 10.0, right? Even if you write something else, any random 4, 6, 6.
Sir, what is the use of the return command?
Enter average. Yeah. Sorry, didn't get you properly. What are you asking?
Use of return command. You have used the return.
Okay. Yeah. This return you're asking. So see,
Yes.
like we use print statement to print anything. So return statement is used to just like you can say end the execution of your function. Okay. So it returns the value or the expression what you have written, like after the return, like it work as a, basically as a print statement. Okay. So like whatever you said that you want to return the sum a by 1, so that is the last statement, or that is the last expression, or you can say the last operation it will do, and it will return you only this, nothing else. Alright. So the function main goal is to return
Yes.
this sum a by 1. That's it. Okay.
Yes.
Alright. So like this, a function can have a lot of.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Well, so return sum A divided by L.
No, not as L. There's
I
that.
think it should be.
1 minute. It
Why,
is.
sir?
What is this?
And sum plus equals to I, not 1.
Something I have done mistake. I
Because
think.
for the for loop, sum.
Yeah, I think I have done some mistakes. Let me see. 1 minute.
And
Input
in the
of
for
L
loop,
is
sum
from
A plus equals to I.
this is L of the length of this.
Sir, I.
Sum A.
Not
Oh,
L.
sorry. This is I. Return the sum A. Sum A of L divided by L. Yeah, it is fine. L is equals to length of first. Yeah, that is fine. That is T sum equals 0. For I in range of length A. Thank you. There might be some errors. I think it's working or not. 3, 5, 8. Okay. So thank you. Right. So you can have a lot of things like for finding the LCMs and all in the case of any functions. If you let's just take another example, like if you go for any, let's say for a binary search function, or you make a function for calculating some two numbers, right? So let's just say if we have taken def sum, we are taking a function of, let's say, add. So we don't have any function regarding the add. We have for the sum, right? We write the sum and we get it there. So like let's say the add you are taking, and if you take here x and y kind of thing, right? So your basic need is just to return the x and y. Hmm? So let's just say add of 3 and 4. So that is 7. I think, right? So with respect, right, if you take any of this. Now, if you say this is add of 1, 2, and 3. Sorry. So there it will be giving you an error that it takes at most 2 positional arguments, but 3 were given, right? So like this, when you do any errors in the function, you get an error like this, that this function is having this much things and you're like using much or using less. Let's say you have only used one, so it will again say you that require two, you're missing one. Okay, so like that. All right. So that is how function works basically, right? uh, let's see like how file handling thing goes. Okay. Now, file handling is like on the internet, right, or on the web. You have a lot of files, many kind of files. You can say in many formats. Right? It be an image file, and text file, or a audio, video file, anything, right? So we are having a lot of files thing, and a lot of space is taken up by those things, right? So you know how to find the size and all for any of the things, right? Let's say you have declared a list and or a set that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a kind of, right? So let's say you declared these things. Now you want to find the size of what the size taken by the x and the bytes. So I have said you right that you can import the sys and you can just check it there. That is the x. Size of will give you the size of x, or even what you can do is you can write it as get size of x. That will give you the exact thing. If you don't remember other things, you can just use this get size of x, and this will give you the exact values of the x, right? That could be 3 times right. Okay. So that is like the size of this x. So you will be getting the object size of this x in the bytes. Okay. Now talking about the file handling. So there is a inbuilt function in the Python that is open and close or read, write, and such things, right? So this inbuilt option of the open function you can see on. Okay, so this is just used to open any file, and then you can perform reading or writing or appending anything, right? So in a file handling, you basically have three kind of things, that is open a file, read a file, or close the file, right? So basically you focus on these three things, right? So if we just want to write a CSV file, or let's say for writing a text file, so basically in Python you have two kind of files you can say in your working, right? So one is your text file, the another is a binary file. So binary file is like, let's say the text file, right? So text, other than the text file, whatever it is, let it be for media, let it be for audio, let it be video or image files or anything, right? So those come under the binary file. All right. So your first thing is for the text file. Now, what are the things done there? When I say that you can uh, open any file, sorry, you can read any file, you can write any file, or you can append on any file. Okay, you can close any file, open any file. So how to read and write on the files? Okay, so the very first thing is like you have to first of all open your file before reading or before writing. So let's say you have written F, right? And there also you get some errors, like if you open and such a file which does not exist even, right? So let's say we have opening a file name as edufabrica.txt, and then after writing the file name you give the mode, what mode you are trying to do, right? So you are trying to read. So this is R means that I am trying to read my file. Okay, so that is fine. Now you'll be getting a beautiful error out there. There's the file not found error, right? So FNFE you can say. So no such directory is found, right? Okay. 1 minute. So no such directory is found there, right? So that is particularly say that you in which directory you are working, there this name of the file even does not exist, right? So which directory you are working, right? You should know what is your path of working, right? Where your files are getting stored in your PC. So where to see up your things? Only not here, right? You should also know there where your files are being stored. So if I am saying that if your directory is inside this IBM folder where it is, yeah. So I should mention which directory it is. What is the directory? What is the path of this? So if I just copy up things and I just paste it here. So not this exactly. So just how to get up the directory is like you will have to import this OS, right? And it's very easy. So get CWD. So get CWD gives you that you want to get your current working directory. Run this and this is your directory, right? You can see inside the users and like inside the account there is a folder named as IBM sessions, and this file is exactly inside that session. Okay, right? So even what you can say that this is your path equals to this, and you want to print out your path. So this is your path of your working. Okay, and if you want to change your directory, you can use this os.chdr that change the directory, and then you can write up the things. Sorry, this here, dir, and then you can write in which exactly directory you want to make your things. Okay, so this is saying that no file found in this directory. So what to do, right? If it is not there, so you can only read a file which is there inside a directory. So let's just take and create a file in there. We don't have any text file here, so let's just create something and let it be Edufabrica. Dot txt. So this is edufabrica.txt, and let's just write it hi. Uh, Welcome to file handling. We can open, read, write, and can close a file, right? And then just save this. Save. Now let's just try it again. Okay. So where it is? Yeah. So open this, run this, and now you can see no errors, right? Because now the file edufabrica.txt exists. If you see up there, so this is exist. Right? It's some seconds ago, and the storage it is taking is 79 bytes. Okay, that is nice. Now, where it is? Yeah. So it is like taking up the things now, right? So what is there once we have opened up the file? So file has been opened in this particular notebook, right? So what to do with the file? You have to read your file. So you have read it, right? Now if you want to print whatever you have read, right? So if we just go and like say that now we have read the things, let's just print f. So f is basically thing, right, where you have used the open function and you have taken some file name and the mode you used is R and all the things are the uh, text, right? So what you say is f dot read. So f dot read, when you run this, you will get hi, welcome to this file handling. We can open, write, and even do a lot of things, right? Close the things. Now, what are these slash n? The slash n say that there is a gap, or sorry, that there is a you can say enter, or you can say this identifies you a new line. You can say, right? So, like before B, there is a new line, right? After can, there comes a new line, and like that, right? Okay, now so this is like for f. Now if we say read line 3, 2, 1 minute. So f dot open okay. So you have operations like for the read line or Mhm. What?
Sir, could you scroll up to show the path OS dot that line?
Yeah, sure. See.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right. So let's say why it is not working there. All right. Yeah, fine. So you can see, right, for if I use red and it printed everything, but if I used 5 or anything right there, like 2, 3, 4, 5, what will happen? It will read out the first 5 characters, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 5. Okay, so that's high and then space and then the comma and then the space, like that. Now, if you say that you want to read the lines, right? So you want to read the whole lines. In that case, you can tell it, right? Let's say f dot read lines and 2. Oh, okay, so this is closed. So if you do some operations on a closed file, so read lines 2. Okay, so this is the lines, right? That is the first line. If you see your yeah, that is this is hi, welcome to file handling, and we'll be getting up the things. Where the file is, right? So various operations are there. Let's say if I say that I want to see this tell. So what this tell does, tell positions disabled by the next file OS7. Okay, there's the C also. Okay, so what the seed does is basically just bring the file cursor to the initial positions, and what this tell does, it will give you the current file position. Okay, so where it is the current file positions, it will be giving you for that. So there is some error. We will see. Read lines. Read line of 2. Ah, that is fine. Lines of yes. 1, 3. There it is. Okay. So lot of methods are there, right? Seek, set, writable, write, and if you want to write in your file, then let's say that you don't have any file of any name, right? So let's say it as edu, right? So edu.txt. So we don't have any file name as edu.txt, but what I'm doing is I'm opening the file still, and now I'll be writing my mode as W. So this W states that I want to read my file. Sorry, I want to write my file. So even if your file is not there, this will create a file for you. Okay, and you can see your directory that you have some edu.txt some seconds ago. Okay, if you don't have any file and you want it to be get created, you can use W, or even you can use A. So that will be done, right? And what this write will do, right? So if you write it as f dot write and hi, okay, say f dot read. One minute, sorry. So if you just want to write up the things, then you can just write it as f dot write and just see everything is there. Yeah, so you can see a hi written inside this particular text, right? You can see that. So you can write up the things like that. So what will happen, like if you write up the thing? So what write does is it particularly if after reading when you are writing up the things, so it will completely erase all the data of the previous and will write the things what you want to write from the present time, right? And in the append option, like when you make a file with the append, like when you say f is equals to open and let's say abc.txt and you're using a, so in that case you'll be making a file, right? abc.txt does not exist. Even then also it will be creating a file, and here you can write. For appending you don't have to use append, you can still use this a method for this w writing over there, and you can work with that. Okay, so in append what will happen, the things what you will be writing up there, it will be just added up in the last of, or you can say it will be just added up to the file. It will be not like erased all the things and then it will be start, no. So it will be just adding up the things, right, like you do in the list appending and all. Okay, so that is all about this file handling. Okay, so now we'll just see some of the
Sir?
yes.
So f dot write of hi is output is 2. That means what, sir?
Mm-hmm.
F dot write hi. The
Yeah.
output is 2. What does that mean?
So you have written 2 characters.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so it not comes every time, but it could come sometimes. If it coming, that is exactly the characters you are writing.
Okay, this can be done in Google Colab.
Oh yes.
Could you just show how could we open a file in Colab, sir?
Yes, 1 minute. You have to write the directories. You can upload a file here. Right. Let me show you. When okay. So after this, we are going to start up with new notebook untitled. Okay, let us take it in the untitled. So here you can upload the files if you want. Not from here. So the first thing is to get the directory. And like so see here if you can even get the definitions like it returns a unique string representing the current working directory. So the directory is inside the content you are working up there. Okay. Alright. So what is this OS dot here? There are a lot of things to explore here. So you can even go with the B. So that returns a byte of the string representing the current directory is byte of the content, right? So you can upload any files over there if you want to upload, right? You have the section where it is here. So you can try uploading anything, right? If you have any text file, you can upload from here. Any binary files, then you can upload from here. So if no files is there, like how to deduct things, okay, just hold on.
So we have to upload in Drive and then only we.
No, not exactly with this. It does there, but it is having some errors right now. It's not also
Okay.
clearing up. Well, we'll restart this to see. Come, come. Right. See, it's done. Right. And you can even just close the file. Close. So if it is not there, it will create some files, right? And then you can write things. You can close it there, and you can do some things. Okay. So clear. You can make it like that. So you can see ABC, right? You can from here you can download, delete, copy the path. You see the path over there. So this is content, and then inside this things. Okay. This is how it works. So it's time 56. Cool. Okay, so we'll be starting up with the NumPy and the pandas will be doing tomorrow. No, the NumPy and the panda both will be doing tomorrow. And we'll see some of the graphings, how to plot, but graphs are not there, I think, in the examination.